Hey, boo boos, it's me, Kenny. I am on one of the summits of the West Mountain here in Hot Springs National Park, just enjoying the air and moving my ass around and finding all kinds of cool stuff. I found some black walnut and some polypores and some mimosa, which is good for anxiety, and a bunch of other stuff. But I also have just been thinking about the situation we've been in, and it reminds me of a story that I heard from a good teacher recently, um, and also just really had it elucidated in my meditations. And it's about from 5,000 years ago, maybe to 8,000 years ago, predating a lot of the modern ideologies. And what it was Lakshmi, the mother goddess, was in a pool bathing, and she didn't want anybody to disturb her rest. So she took some of the water and washed it down her body, and kind of did this until she worked up a little ball of clay and turned it into a little chubby little boy, and set it outside the pool to guard the place. She was like, "You're my son now. Don't let anybody pass through here and see me naked." And so he's like, "Okay, mama." And he's out there waiting. And Shiva, the male entity, comes along the trail. And the little boy steps in front of him and is like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm going to the pool to see my bitch." And the kid was like, "No, you're not. Nobody is." And so God was like, "All right, well then let's fight about it." And they did fight. They fought for probably eons, because that little damn dirt boy uh, was resilient as fuck. And at one point, finally, it gets to a point where Shiva cuts off the boy's head, and it drops, and the boy drops dead. And all of a sudden, Shiva is overcome with grief because he realizes what happened. He realizes that was his son too, a reflection of himself, and because it was Lakshmi's son. And so, filled with grief, instead of doing the normal thing that the male god entity does and destroy more, he went walking and found the first thing lying on the side of the road, which was a white elephant. And he chopped off the elephant's head and brought it over and put it on top of the little boy. And this was like a promise. It was a promise that that little boy would never get lost again. And that little boy would never lose its head again. And that little boy would always be able to find his way back to mama, no matter what, through the eons. And if you think about it, a lot of the ways, like Lakshmi is the heart, right? And then Shiva is the brain. Well, there's also different aspects of that, but we'll just simplify it for now. The little boy is the word, right? It's the action, it's the deed. So, yeah, just keep that in mind, right? Like, I know stuff is scary right now. We're living in very stressful, harsh times. And you should just always know that somewhere deep in you is the knowledge that you need to kind of find your way back home, right? Kind of find your way back to mama. You've just got to still your mind. An elephant can go forever, and it doesn't know in its conscious mind where the water is. It knows in its genetics, and it just goes and goes and goes. And so that's a covenant, and I think that's a covenant that transcends religion, and one that you should be mindful of. So you should maybe get up and move your legs around and enjoy this beautiful earth, and enjoy the company of each other. And don't let fear and division separate your head and your heart, right? Keep your fucking lids on, okay, baby? I love you.